the fact of the matter is, besides when you first meet someone and you're both kind of like coming into it open and like trying to get any read on each other, after that, you basically have certain demands and tolerances for how a person relates to and treats you, right? Like, you do kind of control that, because if someone is not treating you or relating to you in the way that you want, you can just walk away, and that's okay. Sometimes like people aren't compatible, people aren't meant for each other, so don't see that as like a bad thing of like walking away from people. But everybody has like, this is what I need from the relationship, this is what I need you to be, and these are like my non-negotiables. Can't have that. The thing is, most people have those like super low bar, and it's because they don't even like, it's all subconscious for them. They don't realize that they, you know, can change that or decide that and enforce that, I guess is the better word. Sorry, I'm really itchy for some reason. But you should never have to demand respect or demand love or demand anything out of a relationship, because I mean verbally is what I mean, because that will already have been said in all the small decisions, all the little things they said that you let go, or, you know, you didn't say how you felt about it, this, that, or all the things that they did that you really appreciated and liked that you didn't affirm, right? So it's both, and it's just being honest with people and being straightforward and saying, hey, I don't like this, or hey, I really like that. It really is that simple. But if you haven't done that in a relationship since you met them, sometimes it's years and years, and now all of a sudden you're like demanding some respect or love or something to change, when the message you've been telling them all this time over all those small things, you know, in an unspoken way, is the opposite. There's obviously a massive dissonance there, and it's not necessarily wrong for that person to disagree with you because you haven't expressed that over time. So like, that's your fault. You know, family, friends, romantically, whatever, even professionally, any type of relationship that you just don't like and you feel like is taking from your life in some way, you can leave. I just want to remind you of that. Like, you have no ties, no commitment to anyone around you. The only ones I would say is if you're married or if you have kids, then you have like obligation to them. But anybody else in your life, just give yourself the freedom to detach from places that you have given a lot of time and energy in the past. I don't know if you ever heard of sunk cost fallacy, but it's basically like allowing prior investment, time, financially, emotionally, to dictate your future decisions. That's what we naturally do as humans, but it's not a good mindset to have, right? Because you could stay with something bad and sacrifice something better that you could have found, just because it would feel like a waste what you put in so far. That's sunk cost fallacy. But yeah, every relationship is a choice, and to be honest, most people you will meet and come across and have by default in your life are bad investments. I'm gonna just say that. Like, there's very few people, the people you really want to like lock in with and commit to and spend your precious time, emotional energy, bandwidth with, is very few. Like, those are rare people. So maybe you have 3 to 5 people in your life, like core, just family, maybe a romantic relationship, one mentor, a really good friend, you know, up to 10-ish. Those are like, if we take it in the investing concept, those are like your bonds, S&P, just like hold it for the long term. You know you're going to get gains, even if you have up and down years. Like, history has proven already to you that I will grow with them, and I'll be glad I invested in that. And that's a smart investment for me. Other friends, the other 90% of people in your life, are more like penny stocks. Like, you can make a really small investment and it could blossom into something amazing. Last thing I'll say for this video, don't be afraid, and please take action. You know, I think everybody, if you watch this video through and you've been thinking about it, you probably have a relationship in your mind that you need to change. Either you need to affirm them better and tell them how grateful you are for them, like you realize their value in your life and how special they are, rare they are, or it's somebody that you haven't really told them what you want from your relationship. You haven't really expressed that. So you need to express that, or if you have already expressed it, and what it comes down to is they change, they come towards that, they say, okay, I can do that, like, that's okay, thank you for telling me. Fantastic, that's the ideal situation. More often than not, they're not gonna change, and so you need to leave. It's one of those two things, either or, and you have to have like the discipline to make those hard decisions. Yeah, that's the vid. All right, gang. It's cool hanging with you. Have your rest of your day. I love looking at myself in the camera. I think that's a problem. I think I'm just vain and conceited. But for real, like, ooh, sunny day. Oh, let 'em fly. I'm done.